Hi everyone, and welcome back as I take a look at episode 4 of Ultraviolet. Now, this is a bit of a sensitive episode, and I'm being rather cautious in what I'm going to be saying in this particular episode. So, the episode basically focuses on a schoolboy called Gary at a religious school, and he's been sort of acting up. Now, he's been acting up to such a degree, he actually lashes out at one of the fathers there, and he kills him with a Stanley knife. And then from there, he runs out the school and tries to sort of hide, wandering around a park and washing the blood off his hands and so forth. Meanwhile, Angie receives this medical notification about Piers' condition, and later on she will reveal this to him. So, CIB is investigating the school, and they come to the conclusion there is something definitely peculiar going on, because some of the school kids have reacted to sunlight. They're sensitive to it. So something is going on. Meanwhile, Kirsty is meeting Jacob, and he's talking about he's drawn a complete dead end here and there on his investigation into Mike. And as far as he's concerned, Mike has gone deep undercover into some shady organisation, but he's not going to stop digging. She thinks it's all over, but Jacob said he will continue to dig and inform Kirsty of any further news. Meanwhile, Gary has been picked up by a rather seedy gentleman, taken back to his flat. His dog attacks Gary the boy. The seedy gentleman rushes him to the A&E and sort of just drops him off there. And that's the end of it as far as he's concerned. CIB's investigation into the father who was killed, Mike, well, let's put it this way, discovers some rather sensitive, nasty material. Now, is he one of these kind of people or not? We don't know. Anyway, there's something clearly peculiar going on, and CIB are investigating. They've come to the park which Gary was holding up in, and they eventually come to the conclusion that Gary might have been picked up by a rather seedy gentleman. Meanwhile, Kirsty is meeting Frances and trying to get information out of her. Frances basically says, look, Mike's moved on, leave him alone, and that is it. Basically, she's cut down dead with her investigation, and Kirsty just sort of walks out at the meeting in a huff. Meanwhile, Jacob's investigation has discovered something about Angie. This has drawn the attention of the vampires. The vampires have got Jacob under surveillance. Of course, at this stage, he doesn't actually know the full facts of what is going on. But nevertheless, what he is up to has interested their activities. Right, let's move on. Later in the evening, Piers and Angie meet, and she gives him the news of his condition. It's not good, but it can be cured if they move reasonably quick. Anyway, Vaughan and Mike have confronted the seedy gentleman who picked Gary up, and after having a bit of a wingding with him, he has given them a name of somebody else, Oliver. So, with this name and his address, Mike and Vaughan investigate his place and discover seedy activity has been taking place, but unfortunately also due to a 1 in 1,000 probability of something happens. Mike shoots Oliver. He's not a vampire, but fortunately Oliver survives. It turns out that Oliver is also one of these seedy gentlemen, but he also has this very rare skin condition, making him very sensitive to sunlight. He can't go out during the daytime. So the evidence is massing that something has been clearly going on. Apart from the seedy side of it all, the vampires have definitely been investigating meningitis, but tampering with meningitis. Their object basically was to release their virus upon the world. How far they got with their research is anyone's guess. So what it basically came down to is Oliver was patient 0 and he couldn't control himself, and everything went through A, B, C, D, all the all the emotions. Anyway, Mike believes his career is over. He has a meeting with Francis saying, "Don't worry, Mike, I'm out the door at this rate." After he shot Oliver, and Oliver survived. Piers and Angie are talking to Oliver, getting further information out of him, and he tells them various aspects of this and that. And it clearly is vampire research into creating a new strain of meningitis with code 5 material. Anyway, the investigation into Mike, he is cleared of the shooting, which surprises him big time, let's say, but nevertheless it does. Piers and Angie are meeting and talking about certain things of the case, and Mike stakes out Kirsty's place. He sees Jacob meeting Kirsty, but he does not intervene. Jacob has been crossed over. He is now a vampire. And on that note, goodbye.